think that people have been making fun of him for such a long time that he has really internalized all that. And that dictates the way he probably moves behind the scenes. I'm your girl, and your girl, and your girl, because you treated me like this. You think I wasn't cool enough. He's been holding a lot close to the chest.
A lot of in the industry,
for real,
try to
honestly.
That is not true. You introduce her to your girl, extra friendly, smiling.
He do that
exchanging
19,
numbers.
30, 40, 50, 60.
But I tell y'all.
And it ain't just rappers, the athletes, the actors, the golfers, the executives, the tech people.
What is the real issue with you in marriage? Now I got to dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. He never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this.
Since the beginning of his career, Drake's relationship with women has always been at the forefront of his music. Whether his songs were about going through a breakup, occasionally depicting himself as sensitive, or outright portraying himself as a simp, Drake seemed to genuinely admire women. But over time, things drastically changed until the point he morphed into the self-proclaimed certified lover boy. From venting his feelings of loneliness to an ex on Marvin's Room, through to accusations of rampant misogyny on the 21 Savage assisted Her Loss, even Drizzy's claim that the only woman he loves is his mom on God's Plan was a drastic departure from when he was actively trying to settle down. But where the good guy image was once intact and helped skyrocket his career to the top, that's long gone now and replaced with the perception that, as Kendrick said, Drizzy doesn't even like women. In fact, he only values them when it comes to sexual gratification and as a way to have a one-up on his enemies and friends. In short, there's now a belief that Drake has a serious sex addiction, which has basically created the predicament he finds himself in today.
He presents himself as like this smart, composed, thoughtful businessman, but your friends, girls, you're not them for them, by the way. There's tons of bad. You're not just doing it to get a nut. You're your man. That's what you're doing. It sounds crazy, but that's what it's about. I'm gonna do something that I know that I'm gonna have over you.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Currently operating in a state that may fill a void inside him while deviating from the image that first made him successful, Drake
we talked about this,
a one-woman man at this point in his life. Nor does he plan to change that. And while that makes him no different from many other superstars, the problem for the Sixth God is that there's a feeling of spite and self-sabotage to how he goes about it that has nearly destroyed his career several times over. So, let's break down the roots of this addiction and how it's been hiding in plain sight for a long time now. When you pattern yourself as a ladies' man, it's really no surprise that you might ruffle some feathers or
All right, it's your boy, What's Up, G? We back with another banger. And listen, don't forget to drop a like. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Drizzy, like the psychology behind why he's going at his friends, business partners, enemies, everybody's wife, girlfriend, and try to, like, dive into, like, what he's doing psychologically to do this. Because it's getting to the point where actually this was the main reason for his downfall. This is how we found out about Quentin Miller. It came from DJ Drama. DJ Drama asking him for a feature, and he went at DJ Drama's wife unprovoked. Now, he was successful in getting at his wife, but why did you do that? Because when you did that, that led to DJ Drama having malice towards you. Then he gave Meek Mill the reference track. Meek Mill comes out with the reference track, and now here we are today knowing that you're not a writer. Why are you like this, my boy? Let's find out. Come on, let's get it, y'all.
Act impulsively when things don't go your way. Just look at what happened in the aftermath of Drake flying a fresh-faced Ice Spice out to OVO Fest, only to suddenly cut ties with her when it appeared he didn't get what he wanted out of it.
It's been speculated that Drake unfollowed you afterwards. Do you want to tell us some tea on that?
He did. I don't know why, though.
Shame on you, Drake. Shame on you. You shouldn't have done that.
Happy to go someone in an instant, Drake's objectives with up-and-comers like Ice come into focus when you see how much he prides himself on being a bachelor. So, when he doesn't get his way, his superstardom allows him to move in a way without any consequences. And this behavior was further highlighted in an interview with Angie Martinez, where French Montana basically lifted the lid on how Drake operates.
Yes.
There's people with more reputation than me.
Drake is close, but you and Drake are friends.
Flash Bros. Snipe Squad. You know he gave me the Snipe Squad thing. 10 rules, 10 snipe commandments. Thou shalt not snipe a bro's ting. Thou shalt never pillow talk or discuss business with a ting. On any import from the United States, Canada, or any other region, thou shalt practice a maximum 3-day export rule to avoid frustration. If you fly anybody in, give them 3 days so you can avoid frustration. 3 days maximum.
With Drake basically retaining the mindset of a man in his 20s, it explains why Drizzy also doesn't care whose toes he steps on, including sniping
10 bro commandment.
For instance,
you gotta grow up, my boy.
Unlike Ice Spice, it's believed that she welcomed Drake's advances despite being in an 8-year relationship. To make matters worse, Drake had worked out with her then boyfriend just days before, only to later post an IG picture after the story broke captioned, "Without remorse, dirty." Imagine having the most beautiful, supportive, and faithful relationship 8 years long with an engagement and wedding plan, her former fiancé, Jamie Sun said. Then this major opportunity comes and a world star calls your fiancé to sign a record deal, flies you both over, and then, out of nowhere, all the trust has vanished with knives in your back and in your heart. I am no longer with the person people think I'm together with. I'm no longer with the 8 years I thought I was together with.
That's crazy.
Like Jamie participating in the music industry at a lower level, Drake clearly had no concerns when it came to trampling over his life to get what he wanted. But even though he got away with just a bit of reputational damage that time, recently, it's become clear that Drake's promise to French Montana about never getting involved with someone else's girl was just talk. Because when you look back, Drake has a habit of bringing women into almost all of his beefs with other rappers. And in the view of one of his biggest supporters and academics, this is where Drake has been a habitual line crosser.
I keep asking people, and they're like, yo, listen, man, Drake's a little sloppy with it. All these guys, they share the same
same crop of girls. It's a thin line between like, yo, these are like the community chicks that we all, and yo, you're doing certain to kind of like disrespect.
In Axe View, this has always been a key part of how Drake has operated, long before it led Future to call him a fan on We Don't Trust You. Case in point, just look at why his decade-long feud with CB started.
Imagine how bold Drake was when Drake sends a bottle over there with a note that says, I'm the love of your life. That was supposedly the note. And right then, beef starts. So Drake is in the club, supposedly with Meek and some other people, and Chris Brown is there, and Drake sends a thing over to be like, I'm the love of your life.
Drake is a savage.
Yeah, you gotta keep the girl away from Drake.
Back when Drake and Chris had some bad blood over Rihanna, the whole thing likely made things awkward at parties, but
And I ain't gonna hold you. That's very savage. But like, what is your whole thing with going at? And just to dive into that, like, if that's how you going about it, it kind of tells you in his mind it's a dominance thing. Like, he sees it as a dominance thing. Like he understands heartbreak. I think he went through heartbreak as a kid, so he comprehends heartbreak and what it does to somebody. And I think he thinks that if I can split some, like, my enemy's girl up, if I can get to my enemy's girl on a consistent basis, I can cause that heartbreak, which is like, it's definite. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you know heartbreak, if you've been through that stage, it's definite. It's nothing you can do. You feel how you feel, and you got to go through what you got to go through. I think Drizzy went through that, and instead of learning from it and becoming an adult from it, he almost wields it like a sword. He almost wields it as if it's like the ultimate enemy killer, and it can be. It can be. In his mind, I think he thinks, I don't need a gun or anything to kill a man, and you don't. You can take the love of you can take the love of somebody's life and unalive them the same way you would with a gun. Yeah, you can unalive a man or a woman by taking the love of their life. They confront, but it can definitely be a death and rebirth right here on Earth if it's the love of their life.
Spill out onto record or really even enter the public consciousness at the time. But that hasn't always been the case. And much like his dispute over Princess Diana with Future, it was his decision to mess with other people's girls that led his ghostwriting scandal with Quentin Miller to come to light in the first place, in turn creating a narrative that's haunted him ever since.
That's how the whole thing started with even the reference tracks.
Here we go.
Bro, he didn't write that. The guy in my studio in Atlanta, he recorded it, and Drake just sang it over. That's how that started. So two guys who thought Drake their chicks basically created that moment.
But while all of these incidents could have been damaging
Told
to
y'all.
his career, if you need to look at how far Drake will push it when it comes to women, look no further than him betraying his very own mentor when he was at his lowest. A story that was brought to light in a bar by Kendrick Lamar's Not
This
Like
is crazy.
The allegations that Drake on Wayne's girl when he was in jail have actually been around for a while. And to Weezy's credit, he's done his best to shoot Drake some bail.
Oh, I wasn't worried about that. That's just how life goes when you locked up. She still be texting me and stuff, you know?
However, this is only one side of the real story that never gets reported, because as Weezy disclosed in his autobiography, this actually took a real toll on him. As a man, he wrote, I woke up still feeling messed up about the f***ed up day that I had. Hell is what it was. I'm used to arguing with my girl on a daily basis, but finding out that she'd messed with Drake was the absolute worst thing I could have found out. Seemingly happy to backstab one of the people who had done the
That was his girl.
This would point to the sheer depths of Drake's
Drizzy was plotting on her the whole time.
How Drake's addiction manifested in the first place, there's a couple of theories, but both boil down to the same thing.
But just imagine, like, Wayne trying to put you on and make you as great as you can be, and you're noticing things that make Wayne happy instead. Like, you're like looking at him like, yo, you look real happy in these moments. It looks like that situation makes you happy. I wanna ruin it. That's insane. That's like a true. That's like that. Honestly, that's like a Cain and Abel type bull. That's like a Judas type bull, where I'm looking at you one way and you can't wait to stab me in my back. Like, you're looking at my happiness, wanting to take it from me, mad that I have it. That's a different type. That's a different type little Canadian. A little Canadian boy, I say.
Of getting back at the tough times in his youth, or proving everyone wrong who doubted that a suburban Jewish kid from Toronto could make it big in hip-hop. And during an in-depth conversation on the Joe Budden podcast, they weighed in on how people's perceptions of him influenced his tendency to forget his loyalties and go after women who should be off limits.
Let's have a real conversation about how talk about Drake behind the scenes and how people in the industry talk about Drake and how they view him. View Drake like he's a corny who grew up not getting no And now he got money, and now he's able to afford that, right?
Left with a deficit he's now trying to make up for.
Facts. I told y'all.
Business and how Drake pursues women, because for him it's personal and a way to further assert his place at the top.
Bottom line is, most of these in the industry that have grown up a certain way don't like that this moves in the fashion he moved because they never had a respect for him.
You just said that a lot of the industry do that. A lot of the industry do not try to everybody's. That is not true. You introduce them to your girl, extra friendly, smiling.
And he do that
exchanging numbers
19, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 times. And it ain't just rappers. The athletes, the actors, the golfers, the executives, the tech people.
The difference is you might be more comfortable being way more vocal about that you never respected than the other.
While Joe Budden thinks that this is all about how he's been treated in the game and is now trying to get back, others feel it goes deeper than just rap. According to Nadeska and Ebro, it goes back to how he's been treated by the world as a whole, not just the industry. Because when the world has looked down on him or made him a figure of sad boy memes, being the guy who could steal your girl in a moment's notice is his way of proving himself as the star he always saw himself as.
I think that people have been making fun of him for such a long time that he has really internalized all that. And that dictates the way he probably moves behind the scenes. I'm your girl, and your girl, and your girl, because you treated me like this. You think I wasn't cool enough. He's been holding a lot close to the chest.
Due to social media and people listing all of the people, it was like a list of 40 people that Drake either has problems or has had problems with. The women, the men, the women have decided to be with. At a certain point, you start going, wait, it can't be everybody else, bro.
But above all, it's not just Drake's always over-reliance on sex that's the issue, nor even his ruthless backstabbing of his enemies. The real problem is how his behavior and personal circumstances have shaped a negative attitude towards women that threaten.
And I'm gonna be honest. Man. I'm just being honest, y'all. I'm the opposite of Drake. But I know these type guys. I know the Drake type guys. I call them eccentric. The eccentric guys. The eccentric guys who were weirdos their whole life. And they got some money and now they finally get to hang with guys that was always solid their whole life. Now you get to come around and kick it with us. You get what I'm saying? You was a weirdo your whole life, but now you get to come kick it with us because you got some money. So you eccentric. You get what I'm saying? The eccentric old head. You know the old head who got the bad young John, but he got like a BMW with some weird rims and like all this weird stuff to him. You eccentric. You get what I'm saying? Like, we know you a weirdo. Now he got some braids and he wear all his clothes like a weirdo. And he get to kick it with Lil Wayne. You eccentric. And I know these type guys and they energy be always low-key haters. You get what I'm saying? Because they had to wait for their position. And honestly, they shouldn't even really be in their position because they not really him. They not really him. They acting like him. They hung around him and then they come back to the people acting like him, but they not really him. They wasn't really in none of them situations naturally. They had to get money to finally become him. But you really can't fake it. You still a weirdo to your core. You grew up a weirdo your whole life. You've been a weirdo. You've been a suburban Jewish kid from Canada. That's insane. Say that to yourself slowly. A suburban Jewish kid from Canada. No, bro, you not him. We ain't gonna act like you him. Not here in the States. And when them dudes come around, it's always like a weird energy because they hating low key. They mad at stuff low key. It ain't my fault, bro. Your folks is your folks and you grew up how you grew up. What you hating for, bro? But I know these dudes like Drizzy, man. I call him eccentric. You know what I'm saying? The old head who finally got some money when he older and he get to hang with people that he always wanted to hang with and be one of the guys that he always wanted to be. But to the real dogs, like to Lil Wayne and people like that, they always gonna see through people like Drizzy. That's why he always gonna be able to talk to him like, just be yourself. You ain't gotta be nothing extra. And Drizzy, he always gonna want to try to be like the guys that he seen that he always wanted to be like. Let's get back to it though.
To be his downfall, because from Pusha T to Kendrick Lamar, every time that he's been forced to take an L in a battle is when he comes at someone's spouse or fiance. And in Pusha's view, this goes all the way back to the trials and tribulations of his youth.
Now I gotta dig deeper. What is the real issue with you in marriage? Now I gotta dig in and see, what's your family like? Oh, your dad left you at 5. Oh, I get that. And he never walked you to the bus stop. You're mad about this.
Left without a strong role model and instead given a father who's still chasing girls himself to this day in a slightly creepy way, it explains why Drake thinks nothing of getting involved with someone else's girl, nor discrediting someone else's wife. While for someone like Pusha, Kendrick, or even A$AP Rocky, who adopted the Drizzy beef after lines about his wife from For All the Dogs, this wouldn't be an option, in turn creating the sense that Drake may have plenty of relationships with women, but doesn't ultimately respect them. Left embarrassed by his own actions and with his peers now calling him out, Drake's gotten a serious wake-up call to change his ways. Because if he doesn't, this addiction might destroy his career, his legacy, and maybe even his life.
That was fire, bro. Follow, bro. Shout out, bro. Yeah, I would say I've been studying Drizzy on this type time. I would say I studied the guys who Drizzy is, but I didn't know Drizzy was one of those guys. You get what I'm saying? I always felt the energy of these type guys when they came around. Low-key haters, low-key mad that they wasn't him growing up. You get what I'm saying? Then they get some money, and then, you know, they get to hang on the block and they get to kick it with people from Young Money, or get to kick it with the guys that's actually always been getting money, always been getting chicks. And now you got that same power that other people already had, and you going crazy with it. You don't know how to handle it because you never had it. No. The guys that's really him, Drizzy, they just be chilling around the women. They used to it. They ain't doing too much. They don't be like trying to go at everybody's wife. They been getting women their whole life. They chilling, bro. They actually try and keep it low key. But dudes like you who never really been in them positions, you get what I'm saying? You was a weirdo your whole life. You was a suburban Jewish kid who never even wanted to be black. You ain't even want to be black. Your mom ain't like your dad, and neither did you. Talk about it. But now you want to be a rapper, and now you got some money, and you like, yeah, these people got to accept me. No, I know your type, bro. And I know the energy of your type when they come around. Y'all be haters, bro. Y'all be mad y'all not him. They're eccentric. So it's a good thing that we seeing through Drizzy. We seeing him for what he is. And I'm saying this to the young guys that's really him. Watch out for these haters when they come around. They hate everything about you. For sure. Alright? And it's, you know, sometimes we dive off and we just gonna keep it real and talk about these suckers for who they is. Alright? It's your boy, What's Up, G? Don't forget to drop a like, comment. Leave a comment. Tell me a little story about a sucker that ever, you know, y'all grew up together. Then maybe he finally got his stuff going, and now he want to come kick it with y'all. Like, you know, it's just like, man, go ahead, Buster. Get up out of here, man. All right, and don't forget to subscribe. We on the road to 10K. And if ain't nobody told you they love y'all today, I love y'all. I'm out. Yeah, we gotta dissect this dude, Drizzy, because he gotta get going.